Hello and welcome to Across the Desk. My name is Elizabeth Plouffe, and I'm here with my guest today, Rob Duvall. The awesome, not the dancing Rob Duvall, but the super fantastic Milton RDC Rob Duvall.
That's right. We're one and the same. I actually quick story. I got his tweets one time. What happened was he doesn't have a Twitter account or didn't have a Twitter account. Right. And when the red carpet was happening a couple years ago when the election was on, I started getting pictures of his wife in like her gown and stuff. And it's like, she looks great. And it was like, wrong Robert Duvall.
But
thank you very much. Yeah.
But do you tango?
I don't. I should.
You have a stunning wife who would look amazing in the whole tango outfit, and you're telling me that you can't get Carol on the dance floor?
The only thing is I'd have to get lifts because I'm the shorter one, so it's really hard. She doesn't want to lead, of course, but being taller, it's hard.
Fair. She is about an amazing glamazon, so I can see that.
Glamazon, I like that. I have to remember that.
You can use that. Is your birthday coming up?
It is.
Is it?
Yes, on the 21st.
We have to talk. I can hook you up with this amazing jewelry designer here in Burlington.
Oh, really?
Who would glam Carol up?
Yeah. Well, the problem is now this is going to be podcasted. Of course, she's gonna hold me to that. So you just cost me a ton of money. Oh
well. No. Well, yes and no. But I owe her, so I'll take that on the chin. That's okay. I'm hooking you up with quality. So you and I met 4 years ago now.
Yeah. Time flies.
Time flies. Through Hall Tech. You were a board member then. No. Yes.
I had just come on. Yeah. I think you were there already. And we were the new group coming in because some people were dropping off. They had finished their term. And I met you when Karen was there too.
Yes. And then so RDC has gone on to continue working with Hall Tech from a business perspective.
Right.
Providing some other services and what have you. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But
sure.
But the question on everybody's mind, non-dancing Rob Duvall, non-tangoing, is about you when you were a little Rob.
Yes. Oh my.
I don't know anything about that, Rob. I know the media glam interview, media celebrity Rob. But
I was a total geek.
Me too.
Oh yeah, and it was funny because I was like the Ferris Bueller. I have yearbooks, and everybody loved to be. I did the dances, I did the Battle of the Bands, but I was also on stage crew, and I was just always doing something that people seemed to be like nervous to do. They were a little quieter or reserved, and I was just out there and loving it. So
that's not geeky. That's confident.
Yeah, and a good friend of mine, Jim Carr, who actually teaches at Sheridan and does radio and television.
He's over in the yes. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. And he's on my Facebook, and you get older and you kind of lose touch a bit, but we always post pictures of when we were kids and some
I gotta go look that up.
Oh yeah, some of the stuff that we got into, but we were into science, actually a lot of science.
Oh, very cool.
And he posted one about a year ago, and I actually have it still, where we built a fuel efficient car back in the 80s. And it was, we won third place in all of Canada at the Ontario Science Centre for it. And, of course, you look at things today and it's like, oh, I could have been a billionaire. But, we were just goofing around. And that was what we did. Yeah.
So if we go back to Robin Elementary School, like, where'd you grow up and all that good stuff?
East York in
Toronto.
You're a
Toronto boy.
Yeah. And my dad just recently moved away from there. My sister still lives there. My brother, he's kind of out in the Scarborough area now.
It's still all GTA.
Yeah, it's all GTA. Yeah, I was the one who held out and moved to Milton. Yeah.
No, you didn't hold out. You escaped.
I escaped. Yeah.
But now Milton's like becoming the next Toronto. So
it is.
Where are you going to go next?
Yeah, I know. I think I'll just stay right there. I kind of have to. I'm a counselor now. So.
Yes. Well, and so what's your ward?
Yeah, Ward 1.
Ward 1.
Which is a really unusual ward. It's
like
it is in a good way. It's like a big backwards L. I have the second largest ward in the way of area, not so much population because south of Derry it still is quite rural.
Yeah.
But that's changing rapidly. We have the Boyne survey going in, which is being it's a huge development area, the Derry Green. So I'm gonna go from being the lowest in population to one of the highest in population.
Wow.
So they're talking about redoing the ward lines right now because my area
based
would
on potential
crushing.
expansion.
Yeah, because I handle everything. I follow the 407, so 407 curves down from the 401.
Right.
So I'm everything basically from the 401 all the way south to Britannia, and then from Britannia all the way to Bell First Line, Bell School Line Road. Yeah, it's huge. It's a huge area. So I cover.
Do I have to like call you Your Majesty, or Your Honor, or anything like that? Like,
no, I don't.
I didn't bow when you came in. I gave you like a hug like a commoner.
I know.
I feel kind of bad now. I broke protocol. But you're not in your mayoral, not mayoral. Sorry, your ward duds. So.
No, I'm not. No, I'm nice and calm today.
Your cash just coming out with the common folk.
Have to do that.
Thank you. I feel honored.
But yeah, that's where it started. I mean, I was just, into anything I could get my fingers into. I was always interested in kind of tech stuff.
Yeah.
In a time when there wasn't really a lot of tech stuff going on.
It was old school.
Yeah, it was. And I just kind of took an interest to it. And then when I went to school for it, I actually wanted to be a musician. I studied to be a musician. I was classically trained.
What did you play?
Piano. I was classically trained at the Royal Conservatory of Music.
Bag of tricks you got going
I
on.
know.
Seriously?
I know. I play all the time at home. But I do it now not to survive. I do it to enjoy it. I'm not going to be a starving musician anymore. So.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine on, Wayne Deatter, and he's an amazing guitarist.
Yeah.
And he's played back out for some pretty high end. He was in like a B.B. King show, and like he's at that kind of level. But he talked about the starving artist journey.
It was tough.
And now he's making a good living at it. But yeah, good. I don't know that I would have the jam to do that.
Yeah, I did. How I got into the computer side of things, kind of leading into that, was that journey. It was kind of bizarre. Being a musician, I had to get a co-op job. They offered it at school, which was fantastic. So you did one day at co-op, one day at school, one day at co-op, one day at school.
Through the Royal Conservatory?
No, through Easter Collegiate.
Oh, okay.
Actually.
Yeah.
And I kind of latched onto it thinking, this is going to be great. And it was. So I started my co-op at a place called the Music Shop 2. It's by Sign of the Skier on Lawrence and Yonge Street. It's still up there.
My husband's extremely Toronto friendly.
It's a really cool place. So the Music Shop was where I started. And funny enough, they liked me so much, after a year, they hired me. And then I went from there over to Cosmo Music and Steve's Music downtown.
Is that still there too?
It is. Steve Music is where all the musicians go, all the heavy-duty musicians.
Yeah.
And I became a specialist in synthesizers, programming synthesizers. And I was doing a lot of studio work. So I was doing a lot of 3D animation when it was in its infancy.
Get out of town!
So I was doing a lot of the music along with the 3D animation.
Yeah.
And
so being a geek came in.
Yeah. So this is where it started. So I was doing actually a talk somewhere. I can't even remember where it was. I think it was in Montreal. And someone kind of latched on me and said, this was really interesting, but would you consider doing this? And it was to do training for a company out of the U.S. That did it all around the world, and they were expanding huge. And they're still around today. And doing talks to network administrators on doing server work and doing 2 and 3 day training courses. And I, they looked after all my travel, all my expenses, and paid me way beyond what I was ever making as a musician.
I was about to say, I hope you were going to say beyond my worth.
Yeah. I actually I was surprised at the time, because that was back in 96, 97. Yeah. So here I was in, my 20s, and all of a sudden they're flying me everywhere. I did Australia, the UK, every state. I did it for 13 years. I did every state in the US and all across Canada. And it was I started doing Microsoft training, traveling with the two other people. So we were doing like the big road shows. And then it went from that to
like
Cisco.
A revival from Microsoft.
It was. It was like when Windows 95 came out. Oh, that was huge. And we were training that. I was teaching Windows 3.1 at the time. And then when Windows 95, that was the first Windows. And then
Windows 3.1 was the initial launch?
It was. That was the first Windows. And so we went from DOS to the whole Windows realm.
I remember that.
And then when Windows 95 came out, boy, that was a big launch. And that kept me going. Yeah, that kept me going for a good 4 years.
And just through the Windows 98 debacle?
Yeah, we did all that. Then I was teaching on the server side of things, and then I was teaching for Cisco. And Cisco, they're two of our big cells that we deal with because I had such a good working relationship with them. So
through RDC Networks.
Yeah, through RDC Networks.
We're jumping some steps
here. Yeah. So that's how it kind of progressed.
In like 5 minutes, I've learned like 20 things that I had no idea. That's crazy.
Yeah. Very different.
So we could basically bring you in to do a workshop and have you be the entertainment.
It's happened.
And have you do So,
That's right. It's the traveling roadshow.
That's great. Good for you.
Like a one-man band with the kick drum on my back. And
I got that. Yes. What is it? What's his Dewey from Mary Poppins?
That's right.
Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
When he was doing the Step in Time and stuff.
Exactly.
I've got a whole bunch of images now. Every time I think of you, they're all good. All right. So we're going to backtrack just a minute. So you built this energy car at school and discovered this love of tech and discovered in conjunction. So that's interesting too. That makes you very left brain, right brain.
Yeah.
So developed those relationships with Microsoft and Cisco. So when did RDC Networks get born?
It got born while I was traveling. So I was teaching these classes to really high-end network administrators. So when they sat in my class, these are people that handle 2,000-3,000 people at a time.
Wow.
So they're there to, they don't have time to read 50 manuals. They want to learn hands-on, and that's what I trained on. It wasn't talking. It was actually hands-on type stuff. So quite often after a 2 or 3 day stint, these people would say, the class was awesome, but I'm going to go back to what I call my living hell, where everybody's freaking out because their email doesn't work. And, I've got people watching porn when they shouldn't be. So, they go, this class was great, but can we just hire you as a consultant to come in and do it?
So the audience spoke.
And I said, absolutely. That wasn't stepping on any toes because Microsoft and Cisco, they have their set rules about thou shalt not train because you're on a training contract, but they never actually did the work. So that's where I would come in. So I built my company while I was on the road doing consulting. That's where Robert Duvall Consulting came in, and it was short formed and rebranded to RDC Networks, but that's what it stands for. Over those years, I built up my clientele until I finally said, I don't want to travel anymore. Because traveling is really hard. It sounds glamorous, he gets to go around the world, but I never saw any of it because I was literally in a different city every day. And so you fly out on a Sunday, you're training by the Monday, you hop on a plane at the end, you're at a new city on Tuesday, a new city on Wednesday.
My face is cringing. You can't see this, but
ow. And it was brutal.
Exhausting.
And so when I came off what I call my personal road show, when I started doing the 2 and 3 day classes, it was still the same thing, just not as intense, but it was still just as long. So you were trained from 8 in the morning to 5 at night. You're brain dead by then because you got people, pigeonholing questions to you all day. And you grab something to eat, go back to your room, decompress a little bit and go to bed, and then wake up and do it all over again. So you're only at a location for a couple days. And of course, every hotel room is the same hotel room. Every car rental is the same car rental, and you finally get tired of it.
Same state, different city.
Yeah. So by having my own company, it was like, okay, there was a big area that wasn't being covered. And what I mean by that is consultants, sadly, only look at one thing only that they consult on. And there was a real disconnect on the technology side of things. I can't tell you how many people that we've come across even today where it's like, oh, I had this guy in and he set my phone up, but all this other stuff doesn't work and I can't get this on that and I can't synchronize this. And there was always this fight going on between I hate IT people, but I need IT people. And where we were different is we constructed what we called an IT roadmap. And we'll take a customer from nothing and bring them to something, but link all the pieces. It's all cohesive. So everyone that works, like, my wife, but she handles clouded services, and Bruce, who you haven't met, he's our senior IT consultant as well. He'll handle, the server and workstation side of things. But we all talk. So we all specialize in something very specific. and then we link it
But
all
you come together as a team.
Yeah, we come together as a team and make sure that that client tries to spend the least amount of money but get the most impact from the product that they own. Because everybody that I was hearing in my class said, oh, I really wish I took this class 5 months ago because I ended up buying $6,000 or $7,000 worth of all this extra equipment. And you're telling me it already does it.
Yeah.
And that happened far too often, and it still does.
So your cost, so I have to go back for a second, because when you told me what RDC, because I was wondering on the way in here what it meant. So now to me it means Robert Diggs Carroll.
Diggs Carroll. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, okay, that works. But that as a small business owner, right? So I'm MacGyver. I have to MacGyver. So I have one brand of laptop that has one brand of phone that has whatever. I've been lucky in here that I just have the one. I don't have to have a server, and I'm not at that level.
Sure,
right?
sure.
But and having known Carol, I know that you guys would walk into any small business and go, look, this is exactly what you need.
Yeah.
You don't need fancy, and a lot of people get caught up in the shiny thing. And
what
I love about what you're saying is that you like tech and you respect tech, but you're not bowled over by tech.
That's right.
And you respect what it can do, but you can also respect that you don't need every do-jiggy and what's-its to make it happen.
Yeah, well, and you're right.
Most businesses don't do that.
No, they don't. And the other problem, too, is everybody seems to have a problem saying it's okay to say, we don't do that.
It drives me nuts.
There are some IT companies out there that are, sadly enough, try to handle everything poorly instead of a couple things really great.
Exactly. And
it's a bad habit to get into. It's a habit that I've seen time and time again. We still come across IT companies and they're not around very long. They're around, 5, 6 years. And then all of a sudden they disappear.
Well, you can only screw up people so many times before, Halton is not a huge, I mean, relatively speaking to some areas, it's big, but it's really, if you do a poor job, people will hear about it 10 times faster than if you do a good job.
I have no problem paying other companies to do jobs really well. Could we do our own website? Yeah, we could. Do we?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because that isn't what we specialize in.
Right.
We specialize in making sure that it all works. The foundation is there.
Yeah.
And it was a nice compliment. I had a new client. It's Modernize, actually. They're out in the Georgetown area. And he looked us up and he goes, I was looking up all these IT companies and their websites were horrible. He goes, if I'm hiring an IT company, why is their website horrible? Like, it doesn't make sense. And it was funny because he's from Georgetown and we've got a lot of business lately from there, and we're in Milton, which is just next door. But at the same time, he couldn't find anyone really local that he was going to be comfortable with.
Yeah.
And
you're the friendly southern neighbor.
Yeah. Well, he said, you know what this experience was? He was very happy with the experience and still is. We're going to go to his grand opening in another week, I think. And he said, you're kind of the homes on homes of IT. He goes, when things are really, I know, when things are really bad and we see you coming in,
we make it right.
We're going to make it right, but I have no qualms in saying that I'm not the cheapest guy on the block either. And I'm not going to jeopardize that because we send our people out for training all the time.
Right.
So there's constantly classes we're going to. We're going to a big Lenovo conference in another couple of weeks. As a matter of fact, a world conference, because there's a lot of new gear coming out and we have to get trained on Microsoft and Cisco. Those are expensive classes. But what we find is Carol's son is actually in IT. He doesn't work for us. He works for someone else because some people can't work for people they know.
Yeah. And
he's one of those people. He does a great job, but he's got to work for somebody else. And they don't give him any training. He was really upset the other day. He actually said, he goes, they said, well, we're going to do training. And I was all excited and thought I was going to go to a class and basically they're YouTube videos. And you don't get to ask questions. You don't get to do hands-on.
That doesn't address. There's 3 different learning styles. You have auditory, visual, and kinesthetic.
Yeah.
And if hopefully most people are. I used to do this exercise with my students when I taught college and they thought it was for me. And I'd take them through the training.
Yeah.
To get them to understand their learning styles. I'm like, well, Mrs. Plouffe, what are you going to do with this?
Yeah.
I'm not going to do anything with it.
Right.
I already teach auditorily, visually, and kinesthetically. You need to know the best way that you learn.
Right.
Because it's not just for right now, but it's when you go on the job.
Right.
And so YouTube videos, it's all auditory processing.
It's all auditory. You don't get to relate or ask any questions that are specific maybe to your environment.
Yeah.
And the other problem too is if you're ADD at all, you're you're only gonna last about 5 minutes watching that video before you go, I'm out of here.
Tapping out.
Yeah, tapping out. Carol, she'll agree with me on this. She is definitely ADD.
Oh, bless her heart.
And she'll have it'll run in the background. She'll be listening to this discussion that Microsoft.
But she's doing 3 other.
Yeah, but there's 3 other things going on, so you're not really absorbing like you normally would, which is a shame, really, because we've seen training. I left, I guess, at a good time, because when I left about 2 years later, one of my friends, Don Crawley, he wrote a book called the Compassionate Geek. Actually, that's what his book is called. You can find it on Amazon. But what is interesting is he said to me, he goes, Rob, we're watching this industry dissolve in front of our very eyes. The training industry.
Oh, yes.
And it was moving away from doing a class and going to, a hotel and sitting doing that class, and it was going to the webinar.
Because people just think it's the be all and end all.
That's right.
To do it through social media or whatever kind of platform. They're losing the value.
Yeah.
It's like when I went to, sorry to kind of do that for a second, but I went back to Sheridan, graduated in 2012.
Right.
So I was 42, whatever it is. Something, there
I won't get my calculator out.
I outed myself. It's all good. I'm going to be 46 soon. I'm okay with the age thing. We'll talk about that after, but it doesn't bug me. So what does bug me is the decline in the skill of face-to-face engagement.
Yes. And
I would watch these entire table of students, and I would have laughed hysterically to discover that they were texting each other. Mm-hmm. But they're more engaged with their phone. And I think to myself, okay, I understand that for you right now because you're 19, 20, not a big deal. But you're going to get to my age.
Right.
And there's going to be either somebody 10 years older than me who's really not going to be impressed by the fact that you can't maintain a decent conversation without checking your phone or what have you.
Right.
And your ability to engage in business, your ability to present yourself, your ability to pitch, all compromised because you are stuck to this thing.
I think why we've been so successful, I try to put my finger on it because I've been asked, what makes you continue to do what you do, and what makes you you, and why are you still successful? And I think it's because we listen. Yeah. The end client is much
though too.
Yeah. Well, the end client is also much more apt to continue on their journey and not feel like it's going to all fall apart.
Yeah.
When they finally give up the reins and go, you know what, you're right, I don't do this well. Yeah. We're going to give it to you. So I build my business based on that. Yeah.
Did something weird.
So I mean it's awesome that way, and it's nice. We have a very low turnover usually when we lose a client, and I use that word very loosely.
You release a client.
It's not that we've lost them. It's because they've been absorbed by another company. They may have a different direction. It's usually like, you guys have been awesome, but we have our own IT people. What's funny is they keep backing off on those things. So all of a sudden, when they start cutting their IT, they start coming back to us. And it's like, well, you were the outside sourced IT department before. We dealt with you before, and now we're in the same situation. So we've actually had a bounce back client where it's like they're gone and now they're back again. And it's only
but they know that they can come back to you.
Oh, sure.
And that's and hopefully you folks at some point will get a chance to meet Carol, because between the two of you, you're Bonnie and Clyde, but in a really positive way.
In a positive way.
Because you're both so friendly and so approachable. And I mean, Carol would give the shirt off her back to help somebody succeed. And I don't know, you too, but
sure.
Sorry, I don't mean that in a derogatory way.
No.
I'm just, from the moment I met you guys, I thought, wow, these are just real folks who know their stink.
Yeah.
And would not BS anybody.
No.
And I don't say that lightly, because I'm a really cynical, judgmental kind of person. So
you? No.
I know, shocking. Shocking. But I can't emphasize enough, and that's one of the reasons I wanted you to come on, is that you're just real people. And happen to be really smart and talented, but yay.
And we enjoy what we do.
Which makes a huge difference.
It does.
Huge
Like, we
difference.
actually like it. We like playing with new toys, and usually the sad part, and that's the only thing that's really hilarious, is when we're actually doing these things, we want to keep some of the equipment because it's usually better than ours,
Yeah.
right? It's like, oh, I like this. We got to buy that.
It gives you inspiration to.
Yeah. So, the client is, of course, getting the latest, greatest. So we get a chance to see and play with all that stuff far before everybody else. So.
But that's another way for you guys to get indirect training as well. Because that's going to inspire you to channel your inner geek in a positive way. And that then broadens your offerings to the next client.
Oh, for sure.
Which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So RDC Networks was born out of your market, which is terrific. Yeah. Somebody told me a while ago, they're like, if you can't get clients, you don't have a business.
That's right.
So you started your business because you already had clients.
That's right.
Which is great. Mm-hmm. So how long ago was that?
I started training in 96, and by the time I got to 98, I started noticing that there was a lot of requests for doing training. To their network administrators. Right. Like, it was like, we need to do this. Can you consult on it? Absolutely. Now we need to implement it. Can you help us implement it? Right. And at the same time, you're training us. Absolutely. So there was a real good relationship there. And it was an unusual relationship because quite often network administrators, when we come in, feel threatened because it's like, I don't want them taking, I don't want to look like I'm not doing my job.
I'm drives me nuts.
Yeah. And
operating from fear.
What was always good, and I kind of got this across in the classes that I talk, it's like, have a plan. Like, if you're worried about your job, that's not going to get any lighter. Trust me, as this all works, you're going to be requested to do newer, more projects, not fixing the garbage that you never set up right the first time.
Yeah.
They're going to have more confidence in you, not less. It's okay to say, I want to sit down with, RDC Networks and myself, and I'm still the network administrator, and we're going to get all this done. And one of our largest clients was a crash test dummy company in the States, out of Ohio.
Like for cars where they go?
Yeah. They made crash test dummies, and we dealt with them for many, many years. And just a few years back, they ended up merging 3 or 4 other companies together. So we did less, but wow, we dealt with them, I'm going to say, a good 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's fine. I mean, their big projects were done, but we helped them move out of smaller facilities and go to a massive warehouse.
Installing the network and
doing
all of that.
The whole thing. And I took lots of pictures. And there was a lot of equipment that was changing. So those were really big projects, but they couldn't have done it on their own. And
you wouldn't want them to, because if you look at the return on investment, companies think they're saving money by installing it themselves.
Yes.
But then you look at the impact on productivity and lost time and all of that. So is part of your process when you're working with a new client to take them through that analysis of, okay, if their argument, just for giggles, comes back and says, well, we could do it cheaper on our own.
Yeah.
Well, you're absolutely right, you could, but let's go through the.
You're right. You can lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Yeah.
But you must have you obviously have a great understanding for the impact. And maybe that's just not something that enters into their consciousness.
Well, we try and put it in a way that we've done this so long we have the numbers on. Mm-hmm. So here's an example of when you try and do it yourself. And here's an example of if we had done it.
Right.
And we have a few clients right now, as a matter of fact, that are going through some of those pains where it's like, that sounds expensive. I'm going to go and find it on my own. The problem is this: when you go to Best Buy, you're getting the home edition of Windows, and you can't link a home version of that product to a network, a domain controller, as we call it. So then you have to spend an extra $300 to upgrade the operating system from Home Edition to Pro Edition.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
So this is one of your. So I know you guys. Sorry, just to link back for a second, because one of the bigger offerings from RDC Networks is the Microsoft 360, and the installation and setup. Just we didn't touch on that. So continue on.
So the problem is they think that they're saving money, so they're going, well, I got this laptop for $500, and you said $895. But that $8.95 makes sure that you have the proper operating system on there. You have the pre-ordered version of Office, which is a $200 saving.
Right.
Our time we also incorporate in setting up that product
should,
in there. So by the time you're done, and we can prove that you bought this at Best Buy for what you thought was $500, but the reality was there was another $400 on top of that. Now it's a $900 product, and you still don't have the same quality of equipment, because when you get stuff from a box store, it's the home line, or what they call the consumer line, and it's not mil spec.
Right.
And
what does mil-spec mean?
Mil-spec means it goes through a third-party rigorous amount of tests,
right?
And it's more roadworthy. So they break down more often.
Yeah.
So when you buy, pointing
at my laptop, which went for a poo last year.
That's right.
Hard drive.
Yep. And sadly, this happens all the time. So I have one of them that I'm returning today, right after this interview, and it was one of those consumer lines. They're not the ones that we would have sold.
Right.
When you buy Lenovo, let's say, as an example, or Dell, they have certain lines that are considered Pro
line,
and consumer line. We only sell the Pro line. It has to be mil-spec. It is slightly more expensive, but you will get 3 extra years out of it. And if there's a problem, they also offer a turnaround with a loaner.
3 extra years.
Yes. Easily, because the parts that they're using inside there, the capacitors, the power supplies, the power supplies last longer, the processors last longer. They're dropped from a certain height to make sure that they last longer.
I'm sorry, go back. What?
They drop them purposely. They make sure that they're dropped from like a 4-foot or 6-foot level, and that they still operate.
See, this got it. So my laptop is a Acer something or other.
Yeah.
It's a consumer line, and not sure what happened. I think I made the mistake of traveling with it in sleep mode or something like that. And it's not an SSD.
Overheated?
No. Something happened. There's a point to this. The hard drive skipped something.
Yep.
And like the blue screen of death or whatever came up. Their solution, entrepreneur, 2 businesses, was for me to mail them my laptop.
Right.
So that they could XYZ. 3 weeks of me on the phone with them.
Right.
Went out and bought another consumer, but I bought a desktop version so that I had no choice.
Right.
The level of service was ridiculous. The place where I bought it from wouldn't help me.
Right.
I ended up having them ship me the new hard drive and installed it myself.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not sending you my flipping laptop. Like, this is where I run my business.
Right. And that's what happens. There's 2 parts to that.
I wish I had done you.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a dirty way.
Well, there's 2 ways of looking at that whole thing. When you go to a box store, they're not in the business of giving you a loaner, and we do. We have loaner laptops that are set to the side that are ready to go.
That makes a huge, as I lost 3 weeks of being able to work.
You can't be down.
No.
You need to be up. Now, that's something that we offer, especially when a client is on a monthly maintenance with us.
Right.
But here's the other part. When you buy, not the consumer line, but the professional line,
right.
You can actually get 2 different types of warranties. One is like replacement,
right.
which literally we send the old one out and they send us a new one immediately, but there's no downtime. Like they'll send us one immediately and then we just ship them the old one back and it's done. Or they can have the 24-hour turnaround. In other words, they'll send somebody to you within 24 hours.
Get out of here.
And they'll fix it on the spot. Yeah.
So as a small business owner, and this is where, there's 2 things that usually happen when a business is going through a rough patch. The first thing they cut, if I may be so bold, is marketing and communications. Yeah. Because, that's an unnecessary expense. Well, okay. If anything, and not to toot my horn, you need to do more. Right. Because obviously something was not going right before if your, leads are down and whatever else. But by the same token, people invest in cheaper technology to save up front. And honestly, I didn't know half of what you just said. Like I understood what you said, but I had no idea that those types of things existed where I didn't have to go through that 3 weeks of poppycock.
The marketing that all manufacturers do, Dell, HP, Lenovo, Acer, all of them, do a horrible job of explaining that to the client. And they're just in the business of selling.
You think?
I believe so. and here's why I believe that. I think their intention is from a consumer standpoint on the
disposable.
box, or it's disposable, and let's get as many out as we can.
I will never do that again.
The problem is that most of us now, we're not consumers from a box store. What I mean by that is we're small entrepreneurs. So they should be getting something that is a little bit more rugged, something that is on the pro line, and something that actually lasts them. So it's cheaper in the long run. And we're talking a huge difference here. You know, you and I walk with our laptops back and forth all the time. It's not like it's sitting there doing nothing. And so we bounce it around a lot. It needs some extra love. Yeah, especially on the consumer line. So
your condom analogy came up.
Yeah. But you know what? This is something that a lot of people don't know.
I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
And I also purchased. I thought I was being really smart, and I purchased a WD external drive. So you know I'm a photographer.
Yeah.
So backed up all my photos
right
onto this goofy thing. It went for a poo.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, you like my backup failed? Like, so my laptop failed.
Yeah.
And then my backup failed.
Right.
And I'm like, but of course I'm bumbling through on my own. And you go to Future Shop at the time, and I thought, oh, these are nice guys.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're there to help, you know.
What training do they? We go back to the training component.
Yeah, with their computer. Yeah, you're right. They're not doing any of that.
And why would they? Why would they invest when, for the vast majority of the time, the turnover on the staff is 6 months to a year. So by the time you've actually gained any knowledge, and we're not slamming the big box stores, it's just reality.
But they're also on commission.
Yeah.
So they're there to sell you more.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm thinking, okay, I should trust you. And there's also this misconception that using a service like yours, which I'll have to confess probably came to my mind, I'm not going to be able to afford that. There's that misconception.
Right.
I just, that's too expensive for me.
Yeah.
Or
we try not to scare people, because the question is like, are we too small for you? No. Do you have a business? Then you're not small for me.
Yeah.
So I'll deal with one person, or our largest client is 250.
Right.
And we love sticking in that mid to small business.
Yeah.
Because we really specialize in it. When you get into the really large businesses, quite often you're fighting over the same table scraps.
Yeah.
And there's really nothing in it. Like we don't actually sell to any municipalities and things like that. And when you find out the guys that do, they're always complaining that they can't afford to actually send, once again, their people out for proper training. So they're literally just pumping gear through. Like at that point, they're just, you know, you need 25 printers, great, we're going to sell you 25 printers, but we're not helping you. Like they're actually adamant about that. And that's the tendering process, you know, and we do tenders. We've won many, but I mean, you don't get to have that
because you want to be able to deliver the level of service that you're known for.
Yeah.
And that you, as the vision of your company, feel comfortable delivering.
Yeah. Yeah. Completely.
Which is, like, again, one thing that I love about you guys is that we want to give you the best that we can.
Yeah.
And if we can't, then we're not the right fit, and that's okay.
Yeah. Actually, and we're dealing with a lot of people with just a couple of people, you know, 2-3 people, and they're very happy. But they had that misconception before as well. It's like, no, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You just have to spend the right money.
Yes.
And that's
huge.
It is. And it's like, okay, if I tell you your budget is going to be, let's say, $5,000, you need a few pieces of gear. You want to make sure that you're not sending yourself emails, which is nonsense these days because you're already busy enough.
What do you mean sending yourself emails?
Well, we've had a lot of people that have not been set up properly on their emails before.
Right.
So what they end up doing is they send themselves an email when they get it, so they get it at home, because if they read it, it deletes it, and like they're set up completely wrong.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I would have a stroke.
Well, and when you're a smaller company, you do more things. You can't afford that time. You have to use your time very wisely.
Yeah.
So we'll make sure that, you know, we can share calendars with the couple of employees that you have. We'll make sure that everything's set up correctly. You know, everything that you read on your phone shows up as red when you get home and open up the laptop. Like everything's synchronized.
Mine doesn't do that.
Yeah, see, ours does.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
I'm on Gmail.
Yeah, but that's the difference. So. And
I didn't know you could do that.
Oh yeah. Well, we'd have to get you off
to you
Gmail, but you would have your own professional like domain name, and it also
I
makes
have
you
that.
look professional as well.
Yeah.
And we just make sure that that's all moved over properly so that your email extension is professional. It doesn't say @gmail.com.
No, mine says Elizabeth at MCB
Right.
Communications.
Perfect.
I bought that through.
That's
I just was meeting with somebody. I just got a new client on Friday, and a longtime friend as well, which is really nice.
Right.
But they're using a personal name
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, so the next thing we have to do is get you, because this doesn't look great.
And you're right. You're in marketing, so you know that it's a real, it's a first impression.
Yes.
If I have a Gmail account and I know it's free, that doesn't give me the warm fuzzy either. It's like I'm using Gmail, and also, it spams people a lot too, because they skim through your emails and find what they call keywords, and those keywords then go to your people that you're dealing with, and you get a lot of spam.
I don't like that.
Yeah, no, it has to be professional.
Yeah.
So if I can make it so that it's less clicking for you, and all your stuff is saved properly, and you don't have to think about it, then I've won the battle.
So we've got here. So we're going to jump back. So you've given a lot of fantastic information for small businesses and stuff I never would have thought of, which is amazing. But I want to just, because we've got about 10, 15 minutes, so I'd like to talk about the RDC story. And so one of the pieces that we started out talking in the beginning is your training at the Royal Conservatory and interest in music, interest in tech, and what have you. And how RDC was born of feedback from people saying, we need what you're doing.
Right.
But back when you were building that energy efficient car, did you ever see yourself as an entrepreneur?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I totally did. I could not work for anybody else. I knew it. I loved trying something by myself and not having somebody tell me I can't do it. So
that's so awesome.
I literally came right out of high school, wanted to get into a program that, I guess would have sparked the light under me a little bit, and there wasn't anything. So I decided to do it on my own. And my friend Jim, who I mentioned before, we went into business together, running our own studio and production company. And then he kind of went his way a little bit. I went my way, but I already had a taste at 18 of running my own business.
Yeah.
Had a venture capital loan at the time, and ended up paying everybody back, kind of moving on, and getting out of one business and moving to another, and had a lot of failures. I wish I had mentors that would have helped me.
Failures are a good thing.
I'll tell you.
I firmly believe in failure.
Oh yeah, you gotta fail. And boy, we did some spectacular fails at the time. But at the end of the day, it worked out for the better, because it was like, well, that didn't work so well. And you try and do your own accounting, and you find that I shouldn't be doing my own accounting. And then you end up giving that off. So what it taught me is do what you do best, and what you don't do best, give it to others that do.
Yeah.
Because then you're not concentrating on your own customer. You're not concentrating on what it is that you got into business for in the first place.
Very true.
I draw terribly. Why am I going to draw anything?
What do you mean? Like the CrossFit draw?
Yeah, just stick people is my thing, right? So why would I even try? And same thing with accounting, and same thing with building a website. I don't do those things well. I know what I want, but I can certainly tell you that there's no point in me wasting my hard energy.
Yeah.
When I don't do that well. I do other things very well, and that's where I should keep my concentration on.
Yeah.
So when I've done talks for the region and things like that, and I get young people coming up saying, I'm thinking of starting my business, what should I do? And it's like, first thing you should do is sit down with a piece of paper and write down all the things that inspire you and that you do well.
Right. And
make sure that you never leave that box. Don't do things that you're terrible at.
True.
So if all of a sudden you've written in this box that, I love making children's clothing, and I want to make children's clothing.
Right.
Then my goodness, stick to children's clothing and design. As soon as you leave that box and it's like, oh, well, maybe I should build a facility by myself. Well, why are you getting into that? Yeah. Like, oh, maybe I should do my own accounting. Why are you getting into that? And same thing with IT. It's okay to like IT. It's okay to like computers and all the geeky stuff. But if you know that you're not quite sure how it all links together,
and why do it?
Just sit somebody down, and you'd probably be very surprised going, this is what I want to do. How much is it going to cost me? And if I turn around and say, just put $1,500 to the side and we'll get you all set up. And if you ever have a problem, call us.
Yeah.
You know, that probably wouldn't break the bank for anybody.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
And yeah, but at the same time, when they have that worry, when it's like, oh, I didn't think it was going to be that much. My whole thing is, I'll sit down with the person and say, here's what has happened in the past. People that have said the exact same thing. Let me tell you some of the horror
case
stories.
Studies. Yeah.
Yeah. And here's about 3 or 4. You can make the decision, but here's about 3 or 4 that I know of, and they've always worked out very, very poorly.
Right.
And usually once you have that relationship with somebody, once they start to understand what it is that you're trying to say and get to the end game, they start going, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And you can budget for it, and you can plan for it, and there's always ways to figure stuff out. Yeah. So has there been any point in RDC's development where you've felt you've needed to pivot?
Yeah, recently.
Oh, yes.
Let me explain that. So one of our biggest products was Small Business Server, and it was a great product. Instead of buying all these $2,000 separate products for email and your own private cloud and a file server and all that stuff, Microsoft made this product that we sold for many, many years. It came out actually in 2003. It was called Small Business Server 2003. And they had 2003 and a 2003 R2 release, which was kind of around 2015.
2003 2.0.
Yeah, and then it was 2008, and then it was 2008 R2, and then there was 2011. And then they made the big announcement when Microsoft said, we're going full cloud, full on cloud. And by the way, small business, we are discontinuing all our products.
No warning.
No warning.
Sweet. Thank you, Bill Gates.
Shortly after that, Cisco did something similar. They said, we came out with these great products. They had voice over IP products, great little unit. You could have up to 25 phones, have your own like voicemail system. It was very professional, but you could only go maximum 25. It was like pigeonholed, which was great for Canadian products. We sold tons of these things, and they turned around literally without warning and said, we're dropping it. You got to buy the $15,000 product now.
Jumping Jesus.
It went from $1,000 to $15,000.
So did they not price their point?
Well, the problem is all these tech companies, and this is where you and I would understand this more, and maybe your listeners will now understand it. The great part about Haltech is we're trying to cultivate things that are Canadian born.
Yeah.
The problem is that 99.9% of all tech companies that we look at today that are big and successful, Apple, Microsoft, Cisco, Dell, all those, they're American.
Right.
They base their numbers all on American numbers. They don't base them on numbers that are in Canada. So when we talk about small business in Canada, and we say, small business, put up your hand, 15 people and under, in the U.S.
Hold it.
Sure.
Sorry about that. I ended up with a hairy tickle frog thing going on there, and that was not going to be pretty. So Haltech, Canadian business, tech, go.
So basically the problem is that all the numbers are based on U.S. So when U.S. talks about small business, they're talking about 250.
Yeah.
Is a starting point. And in Canada, that just doesn't happen.
You're talking about 250?
They consider small business as 250.
People?
To 700.
What the hell am I, microscopic?
Yeah. Well, in Canada, we put up our hands at 15.
Yeah.
So the problem is they don't really base any of their innovative design and helping out small business based on our numbers. And that's a real problem.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we come in. So that's why Haltech is real important. Any
Absolutely.
of the regional innovation centers of any type is that we need somebody to understand our market. So yes, here's where the pivot point came in. They took our number one selling product, both those companies, which accounted for 92% of our sales, and obliterated it.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
So there was
body parts.
Oh yeah, so there was a real shift about 2 years ago, where we sat down for a business meeting and said, okay, they just took our product that we put into many small businesses here, and completely demised it. Blew it out of the water. So the first thing we did is I sent everyone out for new training.
Yeah.
And it's like we are going to figure out where to rebuild our new market based on the products that they have, and figure out how to, once again, gear it to the Canadian market.
Yeah, because you're still Microsoft, Cisco
we
providers.
Are. In a
strong.
Big way.
Yeah.
It's just that now, and sometimes you burn a forest down for new trees to come up for new growth, and that's what happened. So what ended up happening is we found ways of integrating the new small business owners that had a bunch of these other products removed from them and integrating them with the cloud seamlessly. And we specialized in that, which is fantastic. We ended up
a huge difference.
Yeah, we ended up taking a lot of Cisco products, and they had merged with a few others. One was called Meraki, and how to integrate that with clouded service so that we don't have to show up on premise when a client calls us and needs something right now. We can actually do it right now.
But so you can log into it and do it remotely.
Yeah, exactly.
Triples the turnaround time.
Oh, yeah. And the other great thing is too, clients don't, when they buy a piece of gear, they don't want it just to do that one thing. So, if you wanted Wi-Fi here in this building that we're sitting in, that's all well and fine. But how do your clients know that you've got 100 people coming here all the time, or the only way for them to know that is for you to post it on Facebook. Well, what if your Wi-Fi unit could automatically say, hey, Rob is at this particular company today.
Oh, so picks up your IP address and
automatically, so you can use our guest Wi-Fi, but it automatically has a linkage that's directly into social media.
It's so sad how excited I just got about that.
Well, and also then I can look at the back end, and now I can go to the marketing department, which is something IT never did before. The two shall never meet. Well, now we're not even doing that. We're linking the marketing department, because now you know how many male and female come to your restaurant location. What is the average age? How long do they sit there?
So this all creates a report.
Creates a report daily.
Like Google Analytics.
Yeah, it's very similar to that.
Oh, very cool.
But in a huge way. I can even find out where you're going most often. So are people using
Big Brother? I have to.
Are people using more Snapchat and things like that? Well, if they are, is there ways of you advertising on those? Because now that's the newest thing. It's hard to keep up on what's the latest craze.
Oh my God, yeah.
But they're getting these daily reports now using their Wi-Fi. So their Wi-Fi is doing more than just being a Wi-Fi. Their Wi-Fi is now being their marketing engine. And it's also allowing us to service them faster because of the way we've integrated it.
Yeah. So when I said, triple the turnaround, I meant triple the speed of turnaround.
Right.
Like not, it's not adding to it. But,
sure. So that's a great example. And we've had to adjust.
So one of those things that we talked about, and we'll touch on that, is so it's www.rdcnetworks.com.
Yep.
And so we were quickly chatting before, and you've mentioned that your website has undergone a makeover.
Yeah, complete makeover. So we're launching it next week, and it's going to have things integrated into it so that we can help the client get a few things that in Canada they've never been able to get before. One of them is if they watch the informative information about our new Wi-Fi units and our firewalls and things like that, they're going to get free product. As long as they do it through our portal, then they've got that deal that's going to come to them because we've worked it out.
Right.
Same thing with Microsoft. If you do the Office 365 through us, you're dealing directly with Microsoft, so it's no difference in the way of money that you would do it on your own. The difference is when you have a problem, we can actually help you directly instead of you being
in Canada.
Yeah, instead of you being redirected overseas. And so let's keep it in Canada. And if we can offer that to small business, and then we have a dialogue, because when you call me at that point, when you're talking to our staff, we're going to open up a portfolio for you.
Yeah.
And this is at no cost to you, and we're going to make sure that we start keeping track of some of the issues that you're having, and maybe make some suggestions.
Amazing personal service.
Yeah. So we've added, those are going to be value added. And I really think for a small business, if they go, wow, let me get this straight, it doesn't cost me any extra. All we have to do is do it through your portal on your website, and we get some extra stuff out of it. I'm in. I mean, you're going to talk to us. So
it's so hard as a small business owner to find that level of service. So it makes a massive.
Yeah, we're real excited about it. We've just got a few things that we're approving on it now, but it looks fantastic.
Oh, well, I'm going to go and check it out.
Yes.
So put it in my calendar.
Yeah.
So the last piece we'll wrap up on is, what are you most proud of? I mean, other than your gorgeous wife. We have to keep going back to Carol.
Absolutely.
Because she's it. But as a business owner, I mean, I know, I've been trying this entrepreneur gig for 2 years, and there's been I got some great advice last year, which was the highs will be really high, but the lows will be really low.
Yep.
So if you were to pick like your best high, what would you say that is?
I'd say it's keeping the same staff that we've kept from the beginning.
Get out of town.
Yep. Bruce will attest to this. I've known Bruce for many, many years, but what's nice is, and it's been mentioned to us, is the type of relationship that we have. We push people hard, real hard, because we've kept our staff levels to the point where our prices haven't changed in 5 years. So our hourly charge for consultant and things like that. And that's hard to say because, most companies increase their prices a lot year over year over year, and ours have kept the same. The reason is because the amount of work that I get out of my staff is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's because everyone's treated really well.
Well, you don't have to retrain. And, and I think that loss of productivity and continuity for the client translates back into a loss of sales and service for you.
Yeah, we have very low turnaround. And, it's nice to hear. I was at a client yesterday. They're a contractor. And they said how nice Bruce was dealing with them. We really love him. He's out here all the time. It's like, those are the kind of things you want to hear. Everybody shows up happy, but they get the support too. So they work hard only because when they need something,
you've got their back.
I've got their back, and we make sure that the proper training is given. We make sure that the proper information is there.
Right.
And we don't harp on the small things.
Yeah. If anything goes sideways, you're there for them.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
It's a team effort. So.
I've known you for 4 years, but I've learned, we're just getting to 45, 50 minutes here. Just learned so much. That's amazing. Thank you so much for coming on today. And not only great advice for small business owners, but eye-opening for me for future growth for my IT needs. So
sure.
Awesome.
Anytime. Doesn't cost to talk to us.
Only
if we start doing things.
Well, but you know what? That's after talking to you. I mean, people would be foolish not to, right? So, I mean that in a very positive, nice way. So it's www.rdcnetworks.com. You're also doing webinars for the Milton Chamber, which is fantastic.
In May. Yeah. It's about Windows 10.
Yeah. People will be able to catch you. You said you're doing a piece tomorrow with TV Kojiko.
I am, yeah. Not sure when it's going to be aired, but I'll post it on our website because we always have an events section on our website. So.
Fantastic. So Rob's going to be back because he had a major entrepreneurial hiccup with his health that I would love to give the respect to because I know a lot of entrepreneurs face stuff like that. So yay, we get to have you back.
You bet.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.